Pierre, of course, you directed the first Bad Guys movie. How did you and the team decide what direction to take this sequel?
We wanted from the beginning, we wanted just to like make a movie that was coming right after the events of the first one. So we wanted like a logical progression from the first movie. It was not something that happened much later in time. And so interesting enough, when we finished the first movie, the bad guys coming out of jail, and Diane Foxington is picking them up with the car, and she's basically saying, all right, guys, ready to get to work. Good guys, ready to get to work. At the time in our heads, it was like, all right, let's do some, like, ready to get to work is like, we're going to have some cool action stuff. They're going to do some missions and whatever. And then when we started the second one, we were like, hang on a minute. Hang on a tick. There is something there about like ready to get to work that could be also interpreted as, yeah, you just need to get a job and just blend in with society. And that's the direction we decided to take, you know, which is our guys now are going to try to get a job. And actually, some of the very first iteration of that second movie was they have a job and they are not fulfilled. Now they're interviewing and everything, but that's where we started, and we really like that like comedic idea of like ex-con, top of that game, so good at everything they do bad. I mean, so good at being bad, and now they have to enter society, and they just struggle. They just struggle. They can't pay their bill, and they struggle with it, and it's not fulfilling for them, you know. So I think that's where we started, and then it got us excited just to keep exploring, and then and how do we get back in action? How do we get them back in action? That's when we brought in the bad girls to just tempt them again, just back into a life of crime, and really just play with that idea of like luring Wolf back to what he used to love, and comparing it to his crappy life that he has right now. What is the best avenue? You know, is it like going back to a life of crime, or just keep pushing and hoping one day it's going to get better this way? And that's what set up their journey.
The five bad guys in this film are having trouble getting their lives back on track. They're good now, but they're having trouble finding people to, you know, receive them as good. What is the message there for the audience? Is there a message there for children about redemption, about second chances? Go ahead.
100%. It's a story about redemption. In the first one, it's a story about getting a second chance at the end of the first one in this movie, and it's a story about it's not that easy to get the trust of everyone. You know, it's not that easy to get your redemption. It's not that easy to just get a second chance. Yes, it's been granted to you, but does it mean that people are going to accept you right away? No, it doesn't work like that. And so therefore, I think there's a really strong thematic and a really strong talk about what it means to reinsert society once you're an ex-con, once you were a pariah, once you were ostracized. That we had the luxury and the ability to explore because we literally had our characters in jail. We wanted to explore that idea. What does it mean? How do you come back in a society that doesn't want you? How do you paid your dues, you're trying everything you can just to be good now and research a place, and you're still being seen as or labeled as scary, bad, whatever you want, different, all of it. That's such a rich thematic that speaks to everybody, really. And I think it was something very dear to our heart, very baked in the DNA of the film, because those characters look so different anyway. And we wanted to explore that deeply, and then but also with the message of hope behind it. You know, the hope that yes, keep pushing, keep giving the right reason, keep doing the right things, and at some point you're gonna get through, and people are gonna see you for who you really are.
Some of what you just said is kind of deep for like a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old audience, but there are lessons there, I think, about people can change from sure. Bad to good, and how your past doesn't define you. For children in the audience, what is the lesson in your mind?
Yeah, it's exactly that. I've been like, for us, it was like, all right, you made something, you did a bad thing, or you did a wrong thing at school, and you're being sent in the principal's office, and you're getting in detention. And then after that, you come out and people mock you, or people label you because you did something bad. Does it define you as who you are deeply? No, it doesn't. But it's easy to get sucked in and just take in all of these names you're being called, or these labels you're being given, and just think that that's you. And that really is the message at heart. You know, just don't listen to those voices that are like not necessarily defining who you are. You know, just you can make your own choices, and you can make your own you can decide who you truly are deep down, you know.
This movie includes an amazing, fun to watch heist. A heist can
Yes.
go in a million different directions. So how did you guys decide what type of heist to place in this film?
That's such a good question. All right. So, all right, hang on. That heist used to be a different heist.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the rocket heist or the museum,
I
the
tell you what,
wedding heist?
I tell you what, let's talk about the rocket heist because I've never
Yes.
seen anything like that in a movie.
Right. No. So that one was there from the beginning, and it was like the idea was like we need to get them to space. You know, it was the big heist for Kitty, and we needed that need for them. I wanted an ending in space, so you had that. Now you have to make that, you know, the transition between Earth to space. And from the beginning, I had those sketches of these guys like clinging onto a rocket, and I was like, we're gonna make this scene a beast of a scene. It's gonna be something so visceral, and just you want to see these characters goofily run up a rocket and just like, you know, something impossible even for Tom Cruise, and then they're gonna just freeze to death in there. So I wanted something super strong. And to your point, the only way you can do it is in animation. But the thing is, the way we're shooting it is it's quite live actiony, you know. So you're like in it, and so I'm super happy, super proud of this sequence, and it just is such a strong launch into Act 3 of the film.
Let's talk about the earlier heist scene now because
Exactly.
that was a fun one as well.
It was a very fun one. So this one, very tricky to craft. These heist scenes, they are like incredibly hard to do. It used to be a straight heist of the rocket itself in the space base, and then we decided it was not fun enough. It was too straight, and it was not in the tone of the bad guys. So we were like, what if we do it like they're infiltrating and crashing a wedding of a billionaire? What we did is like I asked two of my story artists, amazing storyboarders, just go and crack it. Try to just give me some gags and some ideas, and maybe a little bit of a roadmap of what that would look like. Took them close to 6 to 8 months to just, I mean, they touch bases and everything, but like for us to crack it took us close to a year, I think, to figure it out. Very, very, very hard to do. But at the end of the day, it's such a heist that's like part of the tradition of heisting, but told in the bad guys tone. Very funny.
Pierre, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.